Euromaxx highlights. In today's show, 300th anniversary. Meissen Porcelain celebrates a big birthday. Monastic Brew, a Belgian beer made by monks, gets top marks. Musical Passion, Baritone Christian GerhaherChristian receives another top award. Euromaxx highlights. And here's your host, Robin Merrill.
Hello and a warm welcome to the show. 13 art galleries here in Berlin are full of works by French artists at the moment. This cultural exchange between Paris and Berlin was started by the French ambassador, Bernard de Montferrand, last year. Now, this is the second time such an exchange has taken place. At the end of this month, Berlin galleries and artists will be exhibiting in Paris, but right now it's French artists who are drawing the crowds here.
Unusually for January, Berlin's galleries are full. The usual post-Christmas quiet has been replaced by the noise of a crowd eager to check out Parisian art. The work of the artist duo Kolkos on show at the Ventrup Gallery manages to achieve a sense of poetry and ironic ambiguity at one and the same time. Their Paris gallery, Baritone, is one of the most important in France, and they are now in Berlin for the first time.
The number of artists and galleries in Berlin is enormous in comparison to Paris.
Berlin is the prototype of a European capital. We were instantly fascinated. The city is incredibly multicultural.
For 9 days, Berlin's Ventrup Gallery has granted its French partner Baritone access to its exhibition space and its contact books in the desire for cross-capital cooperation.
It's a chance for artists to become known in an environment which excites them. And since the Gallery Baritone doesn't have many German collectors as yet, it's a good opportunity to make ourselves known here.
We work with French galleries a lot and on a very regular basis. Between 40 and 50% of our collectors are French, which means it's a country, or rather that Paris is a city where we do a lot of business.
The French artists are on display in 13 galleries across Berlin. Their goals are very different. Gallery Neu is showing an installation by Isabelle Cornero. Her Paris gallery is not expecting a sale, but is keen to generate some interest.
Many foreign galleries want to open subsidiaries in Berlin, while we prefer to work with galleries here, to share artists and to start a dialogue. With this exchange, we can make contact with completely different people.
Another gallery involved in this scheme is Nathalie Obadia, which is partnered with Berlin's Esther Schipper. Art by the late Martin Barré is on show there, and with few of his works still available, the exhibition is popular.
I'm extremely surprised by the interest in French art from both collectors and museum visitors, especially for the abstract paintings of Martin Barré.
The proceeds from any work sold are split by the partner galleries.
Close cooperation with another gallery opens up very different opportunities. You meet people you wouldn't have met in your own context. Not necessarily just collectors, but critics and curators.
On to the Callier Gebauer Gallery. 70 collectors have made the journey from France to Berlin, and not just to see the French art they could have seen at home. They've been drawn by Germany's art metropolis.
It's a good opportunity to come here, to visit galleries and museums, but most especially to visit galleries and German collectors.
The artist duo Kolkos discovered the appeal of the German capital some time ago. For the past 2 years, they've been dividing their time between Berlin and Paris.
Berlin's charm is that it is more free and easier going than Paris.
Paris sometimes feels like a museum, whereas here there seem to be many more opportunities.
Yes, there's something very fresh about Berlin.
And the French artists are also finding their feet and meeting people on the Berlin club scene. The friendships which begin here can continue in Paris at the end of January when the Gallery Exchange program moves to the French capital.
For hundreds of years, Chinese porcelain was very popular with royalty and the aristocracy here in Europe. And then, in the early 18th century, an alchemist here found out how to make what's now sometimes called white gold. That's hard-paste porcelain. That was in the small eastern German town of Meissen. The name Meissen has since become synonymous with high-quality china. It all started 300 years ago on the 23rd of January 1710, when the Elector of Saxony, August the Strong, founded the Meissen Porcelain Factory.
During the 18th century, princes and kings decked their tables with Meissen porcelain. Centuries later, it's still considered the royal standard. The Meissen Porcelain Factory, some 30 kilometres northwest of Dresden, produces delicate works of art. In line with proud Meissen traditions, company employees are still moulding, glazing and painting each piece by hand.
What has always set Meissen apart is the handcrafted quality. That's certainly something we've cultivated over 3 centuries. Everything here is made by hand. And you don't just see it, you sense it when you hold it in your hands. It's all been perfectly crafted, down to the smallest detail.
Alchemist Johann Friedrich Böttger is known as the inventor of European porcelain. Frederick Augustus, Prince-Elector of Saxony, originally commissioned him to make gold. Instead, Böttger developed porcelain. His lab notes are still part of the company archives, which document Meissen porcelain's 300-year history.
Just holding it in your hands, it's a kind of bridge through time. Without this document, or without what it documents, we wouldn't be here.
In 1739, the factory started selling blue onion porcelain, considered Meissen's most famous pattern. Many 18th century nobles ordered their own custom-made porcelain. Today, these pieces are quite valuable, particularly for collectors like Kurt Krockenberger. His private museum near Stuttgart features more than 1,000 porcelain items. To him, the founding of the Meissen factory 300 years ago constitutes a very special anniversary.
The creation of Meissen porcelain was certainly huge. When you consider that porcelain came from China and was very expensive, it was a fortunate and particularly significant invention.
Kurt Krockenberger only collects antique porcelain, including a number of rare items, such as the world's smallest Meissen table service from 1911. It's worth about 1.5 million euros. This clock was an elaborate custom-made piece for the house of the Saxon prince.
It's just unimaginable. This clock consists of 250 parts. The flowers have 150 petals. It's a tremendous amount of work. We don't make them like this anymore.
The crossed swords have long been the Meissen trademark. The company gets the raw china clay used to create its porcelain locally. The factory processes about 300 tons each year. Creating Meissen's so-called white gold requires 2 rounds of glazing and firing.
We take the material we get from around Meissen and add high heat. We fire it at 1400 degrees, much higher than other manufacturers, and that creates a special density for Meissen porcelain, helping the white brilliant colors stand out.
Despite the enduring popularity of traditional Meissen patterns, the company's inventory also features more modern styles. But for Kurt Krockenberger, nothing beats the beauty of antique items. He's convinced that quality craftsmanship is what matters, whether the porcelain is classic or modern.
There's truly a Meissen look. You can tell from 5 or even 10 meters away that it's Meissen porcelain, because Meissen invented its own colors, the luminous quality, the depth. People always think that it's painted under the glaze, but it's actually on top of it. I think the secret to Meissen's success is the quality.
The art of German porcelain, still going strong after 300 years.
Now, the Men's Fashion Week in Milan this year was a mixed bag, according to most critics. One of the labels that garnered accolades for its latest collection was the family-run business Ermenegildo Zegna. And all this in their centenary year. You may not know the name, but the fabrics for suits that they have developed over the years are used by many other, perhaps better-known labels. And their own suits have their fans as well. See what you think.
The trademark of Ermenegildo Zegna is the classic Italian men's suit. The company, first established in the Piedmont area in northern Italy, combines traditional tailoring with luxury fabrics. It's a formula that has kept the company successful for 100 years. Ermenegildo Zegna is now owned by the grandchildren of the original founder. Anna Zegna, granddaughter of Ermenegildo Zegna, is in charge of image and styling.
Zegna was seen as a pioneer, and he still is today. Our current collection is modern, contemporary, and wearable. It features elegant pieces that look comfortable, and all made of high-quality wool and cashmere.
The Italian company also develops its own fabrics, which it delivers to other fashion houses. In recent years, it's expanded into leather goods, but the emphasis is still on wool.
This fabric is called double face and derives from cashmere. The weave and wash on the inside is different from the outside. That's what makes it especially soft and comfortable, and also gives it its casual look.
It all started in 1910 in the small town of Biella in the Piedmont region, where Ermenegildo developed a special wool fibre for suits. His heirs have reworked this original fabric to mark the company's centenary. The current boss is also called Ermenegildo Zegna. The company is now based in Milan, and the boss likes to greet his visitors personally. That's part of the company policy.
We hear so many stories about Italian companies which are family companies, but this is one that really seems able to pass their knowledge and their know-how and also their management on from one generation to the next.
Ermenegildo Zegna makes suits that are creative but never too quirky.
I would say our first priority is tradition, our second, our values, our third, quality. I believe these three words add up to the formula, which is our strength as a family, and which will continue to work in the future with the help of innovation.
The company's Zegna label is geared to a younger, hipper customer. Ermenegildo Zegna also designs suits made of microfibers which are ideal for everyday wear. Over 300 Zegna stores all over the world cater to stylish men with a collection that includes everything from tailored suits to sophisticated accessories.
This is exactly what Made in Italy should be. Contemporary chic with fabulous fabrics for men who want to look stylish and modern. This is Italian fashion at its best.
And the Zegnas have every intention of remaining at the top of their game.
We will remain a family business. Together we're strong. That's why we're optimistic about the future, and we have what it takes to weather the storms.
As they celebrate the centenary of their company, the grandchildren of Ermenegildo Zegna are proving that quality never goes out of fashion.
Now, the world's largest music industry trade fair, Midem, is held in Cannes in the south of France. For 4 days, music biz movers and shakers descend on the Mediterranean resort to discuss the state of the industry, clinch deals and distribute their own prestigious prizes, including the Midem Classical Music Awards. And one of this year's winners is German baritone Christian Gerhaher, who is best known for his interpretations of classic German Lieder. So let's meet the newly crowned Singer of the Year.
Baritone Christian Gerhaher thrills audiences around the world with the smooth timbre of his voice. A native of southern Germany, Gerhaher and pianist Gerold Huber share an extensive repertoire and a passion for the German song form known as Lieder.
When you're singing as part of a duet that's worked together for more than 20 years, cooperation is often non-verbal. So we often play through pieces that we've performed or recorded frequently one more time to retrain the way we listen to one another.
Das gegenseitige Hören immer wieder neu zu trainieren.
The duo attended university in Munich the same year, though Christian Gerhaher majored in medicine. But he was also an aspiring singer. He attended vocal training and singing courses at Munich's University of Music and honed his vocal talents through masterclasses. After completing his medical degree and postdoctoral work, the baritone dedicated himself to singing.
He was pretty stressed, but I think he gave it his all when it came to singing. He'd already divided himself between the two things. But it was also a great time because the work was really in-depth.
He was a great pianist. I couldn't sing at all. It was something I learned by singing Lieder. But we became fascinated by the genre, and each school year we came up with a completely new program that we'd perform at village inns with a stage, or cinema halls, or something like that. And we just kept at it.
Und schwimmt es das Ringlein, so frisst es ein Fisch.
Gerhaher's biggest passion has always been 19th century German Lieder. He has found great success performing compositions by Franz Schubert, Robert Schumann and Felix Mendelssohn Bartholdy. His awards include the prestigious British Gramophone Award, 3 German Echo Classics and now the Midem Classical Award for Singer of the Year. But the prize-winning vocalist has stayed humble.
These distinctions don't really prove that you're doing something well. They're more retroactive than anything. So when you win a prize and sing badly the next day, that award isn't going to help you.
A rehearsal break in Cologne. Gerhaher isn't just a passionate singer of Lieder, he's also a sought-after opera singer. In 2006, he sang the role of Papageno in Mozart's Magic Flute. The baritone is scheduled to perform in operas in Vienna, Munich and London this year. But Gerhaher has also focused on expanding the fan base for German Lieder all over the world.
Sometimes I'm in places that aren't as cold as it is here. I was in New Zealand once with Mr. Huber. That was great. I also visited Australia a couple of times. It was marvelous. I've been in America often. and to keep going back to Japan and South America. But Europe is our main stage.
Christian Gerhaher says Lieder melodies are so rich that it doesn't matter if the listener can't understand German. He hopes the genre's appeal will now win over even more fans.
Stehst du im Felde, so helft dir Gott an Gottes.
And finally, we're going to introduce you to possibly the best beer in the world. Well, at least that's according to a number of internet websites that rate such things. But before you get too excited, I'm afraid I have to tell you that your chances of tasting it are quite limited. That's because it's only produced in small quantities by Trappist monks in a town in Belgium. And you have to go there and pick it up yourself.
Cars full of dedicated beer lovers patiently waiting outside the brewery gates in Westvleteren. Here in the rain, the drivers are waiting for the monks to open the doors and start selling their brew.
You must drink not more than two or three from the heavy beer, and then you become peaceful, not drunk or something like that, but peaceful.
The monks brew 3 types of beer at the abbey at Westvleteren. The most popular is Westvleteren 12, a dark beer with an 11% alcohol content. It's served a few meters away in the cafe, at a pricey €4.50 a bottle.
It's delicious. I like it very much. Yeah, really. It's fruity and kind of sweet. I like it.
We tried to buy some at the Abbey, but it's too difficult to get in.
Westvleteren is just so special, and it's very cozy to come with a couple of friends, yeah. And I just really like it.
The beer has earned international fame on the internet. Westvleteren 12 is often voted as the best brew around. The cars here are from all over Europe. The drivers went online earlier to find out which of the 3 types are going on sale. Today, it's Westvleteren 12. At 2 in the afternoon, Brother Michael opens the door to his drive-in beer shop, the only official sales point. A crate of 24 bottles costs €38, with €12 bottle deposit. It resells on the internet for 3 times that, a practice which is officially banned. Brother Michael has a lot to do, but his customers are a disciplined lot.
Okay. This is the best beer in the world. Yes. Not probably the best beer, but the best beer in the world.
The monk checks the number plates of his customers. Sales are only made to those who ordered. There were 50 orders today, and the customers are lucky this time. They're allowed to buy up to 3 crates. The monks just sell what they have.
That depends on the brewery. I have to make place for the brewery, so that's change every day.
Beer shopping in Westvleteren is a special event and well worth recording. American Don Lohman lives in Kassel in Germany. He drove 600 kilometers to pick up his beer.
It's a really well-known beer, and I'm a beer fan. I've heard a lot about this beer, and we had to make the trip once to try it out and have a bit of fun.
The Trappist monks of Sankt Sixtus only brew enough beer to earn the money they need to get by.
First of all, we are monks. When I came here, I was not interested in beer brewing, not at all. I've come for God, for this community. So I think I have a vocation not to making beer, but for searching God.
The monks also try to teach their customers a little about everyday life at the monastery. The Abbey Cinema shows films about life here, how the monks spend their days in prayer and at work. Monks have been brewing beer here for 160 years. The recipe hasn't changed for decades. The customers head back home with a good load of beer. It hasn't been cheap, but it's a small price to pay for what many claim is the best brew in the world.
That's it, but if you're interested to see anything again or other reports from DWTV, go to YouTube and type in Deutsche Welle English, all one word, and then the choice is yours. Until next time, auf Wiedersehen und tschüss.